subscribe, guys. Hey guys, just finished watching Arrow Season 6, Episode 6, Promise Kept. This episode was pretty interesting, dealing with the Deathstroke episode, bit of Deathstroke, and also dealing with Diggle and stuff and the team, and dealing with this stuff, Deathstroke and his son. That was really interesting. I kind of like that story. But I mostly liked more the Diggle storyline with Diggle as Green Arrow, and dealing with the his tremors and stuff, telling Lila about it, telling the team about it, and then also, although Oliver doesn't know about it, but I guess it's not his thing anymore, and Felicity doesn't know about it yet, so that's gonna be cool to see how that goes, maybe next week's episode, and then dealing with dealing with all that. I think that was a really cool idea, and then finding Richard Dragon and dealing with that. That's going to be fun to see how that goes, setting that all up for next week's episode, and then for the rest of this season. It was really cool dealing with that. Now he still doesn't have any cure for his tremors or something, but I think it's going to be cool to see him get over these things and work his way around them, and see if maybe does Argus have someone to help him with it a little bit. Is it going to affect him for on Earth 2 or something like that? What is he going to do on Earth X, for the crossover and stuff? So how is that going to affect him in the crossover, if he doesn't know anything idea like that, maybe with Curtis, Felicity's, and what's her face, their Killer Frost or Caitlin Snow, maybe they can all come together during the crossover and team up, and they can find something that'll help them. Also with Bray Palmer's help and Dr. Stein's help, assuming he's part of this crossover too. Having all these big minds together, maybe that could be a part of it. But I'd imagine they'll all be also focusing on whatever the threat is, or the threat of Earth X and stuff. Excuse me. So it is pretty interesting episode. I really like the different, the relationship between Slade Wilson and his son, and going back and forth between modern time and flashbacks, and then going to the Diggle storyline. That was really cool. Really like the way they did things like that. The really cool, funny part was the Injustice that Felicity and William were playing. Although they both looked like they were both playing as what's his face there from Mortal Kombat, which is hilarious that they're both playing that character instead of playing as Green Arrow type thing, or as Slade Wilson. Is he a character to play? I don't know if you can play as Deathstroke yet. I think you can in the first game. You can, but I don't know if he's in the second game. But it would have been funny doing that, and seeing how playing with different characters and stuff. That was quite cool. Seeing that, even they use Mortal Kombat characters to make it look like they were playing, the as Green Arrow. I think that would have been a reference that would have been inside the show if they'd have been playing even as Arrow with the Arrow costume, as Oliver's with Stephen Amell's voice and stuff. That would have been funny. But it was really cool, again, like I said, dealing with this stuff. Slade and his son and all that stuff. It was a really good episode, and I liked the way things happened, and and I'm glad it didn't drag things out, and it was more John Diggle going and letting everyone know on his own terms, rather than Lila finding out and trying to telling him you gotta tell the team, and dragging this all out, because I could have seen them doing that, and that would have been annoying. That would have been annoying and predictable. But this was kind of nice that he was able to see his mistake, and he was able to to avert it and stuff, and apologize and stuff, and be able to get ahead of it before it got too far. So I think I really liked it. It was really cool seeing different things. It's going to be fun to see where things go, and how things people things that people do and stuff. Disappointing that there's no Black Siren or anything like that in this episode, but hopefully she'll be back in the next week's episode with Kate and James and all that stuff, and then we can get a Kate and James Richard Dragon team up and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see where things go with that. I mean, I think it feels like this episode, next week's episode, which is the one just before the crossover, and then the next week's episode also on the Flash. It's all that. Next week is our last week, and then we get the crossover and stuff. So I just think that it was interesting that that Flash and a lot of these shows are doing big episodes, huge season driven episodes just before the crossover. I want how that's interesting to see how the effect, and all that stuff. Are people going to realize that, the Green Arrow's gone? Is Oliver Queen going to go be the Green Arrow on Earth X, but Diggle can stay as Green Arrow, on Earth 1 type thing, and Oliver Queen's only needed for the actual crossover type thing, and then Diggle's not. Diggle stays here, does stuff. I don't know, it would be cool to see what happens with that, because then you get, some of the Arrow team that goes with Oliver and some states with Diggle and stuff, and seeing where things go with that could be fun. But hopefully we just get everyone over on Earth X and stuff, having everyone together as a huge crossover. That's always fun and stuff. So yeah, it definitely is interesting to see where things go with this, and how that also involves, how it transitions into the crossover and stuff. That'll be fun to see that. And yeah, I think in all, it was a good episode. It was a really fun and engaging episode, and I really can't wait to see where things go with this, and maybe later on seeing Deathstroke return. But I like it was just a very small arc, only 2 episodes, doesn't need to be more than that, and we can move on and then have him back in later on, another season or later or something like that. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode of Arrow in the comments below. What was your favorite part? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.